Hi guys, today we're working on Unit 4, Lesson 8, which involves money number story problems. Our objective today is to solve multi-step number stories involving money. I forgot to say before we get started, make sure that you have your slate, marker, math journal, and a pencil. For our warm-up today, I just want you to read these numbers aloud. So take 20 seconds, read these numbers out loud, and then we'll check our answers. Did you say 98,743? Did you say 20,023? Nice job, let's keep going. Today, we will solve similar number stories that involve time and money. These number stories require more steps than many of the number stories you've previously seen. So it is very important that you take extra time to use cubes, restate our question, make a plan. So you're going to decide what math you're doing, you're solving, and then checking your answer and asking yourself if it makes sense. So I want you to turn to page 128 in your math journal. Let's read the prompt together. College students in Santa Barbara, California completed classes and are making travel plans to go home for the summer. Use the information in the chart below to help them plan their trips. If needed, draw a diagram such as a measurement scale to help you solve the problems. So what we know based on the chart is there are destinations, which are the places that the students want to travel to. So they're traveling from their school and they're going home for the summer. So they may be going to Los Angeles, San Diego, San Jose, Oakland, or Sacramento. Then there's the approximate travel time. That's the amount of time it's probably going to take them to travel from their school to home. Then they have two options. They can travel home by a train, or they could travel home by the bus. Typically, the bus will be cheaper. Not in every case, but in most cases it's cheaper than the train. So, the question on the slide says, how many $10 bills would you need to buy the bus ticket to San Diego? So, we're going to find San Diego on our chart here. And it says a bus ticket. So, we're going to be looking at the bus ticket. How many $10 bills would you need to be able to pay the $30 bus ticket? You'd need 3 $10 bills, right? Because 10 plus 10 plus 10 equals 30 bucks. How many $1 bills would you need? If you can only pay in $1 bills, you'd need 30 of them. 30 $1 bills would be $30. You could also pay in several other combinations, but these are the two that the questions on the board wanted us to look at. How many $10 bills would you need to buy the train ticket to San Jose? So we're going to find San Jose on the chart. We're looking for a train ticket. And the question wants to know how many $10 bills would we need to be able to buy that ticket to San Jose? So I know that the ticket cost $59. $59 is really close to what 10, if I round to the nearest 10. $59 is really close to 60 bucks. So how many $10 bills would you need? You're going to need 6 $10 bills. And how much change? How much would you get back? Well, we only rounded up $1, so you'd get $1 back. So the problems that we just solved were pretty simple, pretty easy. And now we're going to bump it up challenge ourselves a little bit more with the following problems. So I am going to do number 1 for you, and I just want you to watch. Colleen, Amelia, and Teresa are going home to San Diego. They buy 3 train tickets using 2 $100 bills. How much change should they get from the cashier? All right, so I know that 3 girls bought 3 train tickets using $200 bills. So I'm going to make sense of the problem, and I'm going to finish up using cubes. So I know that there are 3 train tickets, and they paid with $200 bills. And it's wanting to know how much change should they get from the cashier. So I know that they're not going to spend all the $200. So now I've circled my numbers, I've underlined my question, I've boxed my action words, change, that tells me how much they're getting back. And then now I need to evaluate. And then I'm going to solve. So I know that 3 train tickets, they got 3 tickets, and let's figure out how much that costs. So 3 train tickets, if I look at my table, I'm going to go to train, and 3 train tickets to San Diego, 1 ticket costs $42. So it's like saying 42 times 3 tickets. That's going to tell me how much they spent on the train tickets. So I could do 42 plus 42 plus 42, or I could use my partial products. Could practice that strategy that we learned earlier in the week. So I have 40 times 3, which gives me 120. And then I have 2 times 3, which gives me 6. So 120 plus 6 gives me 126. Does that answer my question? 126? How much change should they get from the cashier? No. So 3 tickets, the 126 tells me how much 3 tickets cost. I want to know how much change did they get. Well, how much did they pay? They paid $200 because they had 2 $100 bills. So to figure out how much they get back, you're going to do 200 minus the cost of 126, and that'll give you the change. So if I do 200 minus 126, that will give me the change, the amount they get back. I know that it cost $126 for all 3 tickets. And I know that they paid using 2 $100 bills. So they paid the cashier $200, and we want to know how much money is the cashier going to hand them back. So when I do my subtraction, I'm going to get 10 minus 6, which is 4. 9 minus 2 is 7. 1 minus 1 is 0. So I know that they're going to get $74 back. That's the amount of change they get. Now, let's look at part B. The cashier wants to use the least number of bills when she gives the girls change, and only has $10 bills and $1 bills. How many $10 and $1 bills could she give them? So she wants to give them the least number of bills. So she's basically saying, I don't want to give them 74 ones. That'd be a lot of change, a lot of dollar bills, wouldn't it? 74 ones. So we need to find the way that the cashier can give the least number of bills back that equals $74. So the easiest way for us to do this is to think about break down the number 74 into tens and ones. So if this is my tens and this is my ones, how many tens are there in 74? There's 7, so she would do 7 $10 bills. And how many ones? And 4 $1 bills. That part's pretty simple, isn't it? I just looked at my digits in each place value and went from there, since they wanted us to use $10 bills and $1 bills. So 7 $10 bills and 4 $1 bills would be the least number of bills she could give them to give them the correct change back. So go ahead and pause your video and copy all of this down. Your work should match what's on my screen. Now we're going to do number 2 together. So let's read the problem together. You read it with me. Juan, Terrence, Rashad, and Adrian are going home to Los Angeles. So I'm going to circle Los Angeles on my chart. How much more would it cost for them to buy 4 train tickets than 4 bus tickets? So I'm doing my cubes, I circled my numbers, I underlined my question, I boxed my action word. How much more would it cost them to buy 4 train tickets than 4 bus tickets? So we have to compare the cost of 4 train tickets to the cost of 4 bus tickets, and then we have to subtract to find that difference. That'll tell me how much more. So the first thing I need to do is find the cost of 4 train tickets. So I'm going to do 4 times, how much does 1 train ticket cost? 4 times $31. Then I need to find the cost of 4 bus tickets. So how am I going to find that out? 4 times 22. Go ahead and see if you can solve those 2 equations on your own. 31 times 4. So when I did 4 times 31, I did 30 times 4 is 120, and 1 times 4 is 4, and I got 124, so that's how much 4 train tickets would cost. And then when I do 4 times 22, I'm going to do 20 times 4 and 2 times 4. And I get an answer of 88. Is that the answer to my problem, 124 and 88? No. The question says, how much more would it cost for them to buy 4 train tickets than 4 bus tickets? So what am I going to do to be able to figure this out? How do I figure out the difference between 124 and 88? I need to do subtraction. So when I do 124 minus 88, what am I going to get? Do that now. Did you get 36? I hope so. The difference between 4 train tickets and 4 bus tickets is $36. So it costs them $36 more to buy 4 train tickets than 4 bus tickets. Your paper should match mine. You need to have all of the same work written down. Now, let's take a look at number 3. How many minutes longer is an action word, will the girls' San Diego trip be than the boys' Los Angeles trip? So I need to figure out how long is the girls' trip and how long is the boys' trip. So take a look at the chart. And above San Diego, how long is the San Diego trip? It's about 6 hours, so you should be copying this down too. And the Los Angeles trip is 3 hours. So how do I figure out how many minutes longer it will be than the girls' trip than the boys' trip? Right now, I have 6 hours compared to 3 hours. Well, I know that 6 hours is greater than 3 hours. It's twice as much, right? What's the difference between 6 hours and 3 hours? 3 whole hours. That means the girls' trip is twice as long. Is 3 hours our answer? No. It wants to know how many minutes. So you're going to have to convert hours to minutes. So in 1 hour, how many minutes are there? 60 minutes. So if the girls' trip is 3 hours longer, but the answer when they want us to answer it in minutes, I'm going to do 3 hours times 60 minutes to get my answer here. Go ahead and do that. I could do my basic fact. 3 times 6 gives me 18, and I have 1 0. So my answer is 180 minutes. 180 minutes. That was 2 steps because I had to figure out the difference between the girls' and the boys' trip, and then I had to convert to minutes. You are going to do problems 4 and 5 on your own. You need to take your time and do cubes and underline, box the action words, make your plan, and then solve. And make sure you ask yourself, does your answer make sense? Then for number 6, you're going to do A, but B says, what is the difference between the longest and the shortest travel times in minutes? So to be able to figure this out, I need to know what the longest travel time is. So take a look at your chart. What's the longest travel time? Excuse me. The longest travel time was Sacramento, and it's 11 hours. How long is the shortest travel time? It's 3 hours, and that was for Los Angeles. Wants to know in minutes. So to find the difference, I'm going to do 11 minus 3, which gives me 8 hours. But my answer needs to be in minutes, so I have to convert 8 hours to minutes. So again, if there's 60 minutes in an hour, you're going to do 8 hours times 60. 8 times 6, 48, and you get 480 minutes. So now you need to do part A on your own. Number 7 is an optional challenge, so if you want to challenge yourself, you can. If you just want to keep on moving, that's fine too. Now you're going to do math box 4-8. This math box looks very similar to math box 4-6. I gave you a lot of tips and help for 4-6, So if you need help, you need to go back and look at that math box to be able to answer these problems. So make sure you finish the math box and then you finish the you do problems on page 129. Okay, so you're finishing these on page 129 and then you're doing your math box.